For generations, women suffered silently with few treatment options and fertility concerns. Today, 1 in 3 will be diagnosed with fibroids. 80% of women of African descent have fibroids. Our numbers are too great for this story to continue. Will you join me in creating a new story, a movement? Let's let the world know that we are empowered, resilient, and focused. Hi, I'm Sateria. I faced fibroids at the age of 26. Freedom from fibroids will mean that women around the world will no longer have to suffer. Let's create a global movement together. Welcome to Fibroid Awareness Month 2021. Our ambassadors are joining us. Oh my goodness. We would love for you to meet our ambassador team. We have 22 chapters around the country, and they're joining us now. You'll learn more about the work that they do and how we are striving to make a difference in your community. Today you will meet our ambassadors from Ohio, New York, Florida, Texas, and Canada.
Hi, I'm Alexa Bordner, and I'm the Fibroid Foundation Ambassador for the Brooklyn chapter. Behind me is the neighborhood of Bushwick, which is known for its street murals and vibrant culture. If you're suffering from fibroids, I've been there and I can help. Reach out to me and I can connect you with resources and a community that's there for you.
Hiya! Welcome to Austin, Texas. My name is Carmen Grachoy, and I am the ambassador for the Fibroid Foundation for Austin, Texas. Behind me is the most famous wall in the world, I would say, and it's the I Love You wall. We are on South Congress, and also behind me you can see Amy's Ice Cream, one of the most popular ice cream places in town. With that said, if you ever come to Austin, I invite you to visit South Congress. And if you suffer with fibroids, please contact me. We are in this together. Bye.
My name is Rebecca, and I'm the Fibroid Foundation Ambassador for Waterloo Region. Behind me you'll see the beautiful Grand River and the Main Street Bridge in downtown Cambridge, which you might recognize from the Handmaid's Tale series. For more information on the Fibroid Foundation, please visit fibroidfoundation.org.
I'm excited today to join Dr. Linda Bradley in Cleveland, Ohio. First, we'll have a very enlightened talk with Dr. Bradley about fibroids. Then we'll move to the kitchen at the Cleveland Clinic Stephanie Tubbs Jones Health Center. And Dr. Bradley will teach us how to make 2 fabulous recipes. Let's get started. Hello. We have the absolute pleasure today of being at the Stephanie Tubbs Jones Cleveland Clinic Center with Dr. Linda Bradley. Dr. Bradley is the medical director at AAGL, and she is also on our advisory board, which we are so pleased to have her expertise as we pursue our advocacy efforts for uterine fibroids. Dr. Bradley, thank you for being here.
I'm so glad that you and your team are here in Cleveland today on a great weekend.
I know, we finally made it.
All right, good, good, good.
So what is your role at Cleveland Clinic?
Well, you know, I've been at the clinic coming up on 30 years, and my current role, I am professor of obstetrics and gynecology and reproductive biology. I'm also founder and chair of Cleveland Clinic Celebrate Sisterhood, a multicultural women's health summit that we used to put on several times a year, and now we're doing virtual about every 2 to 3 months. And I'm a wife, and I'm a mom of 2.
You're just amazing. And how long has Celebrate Sisterhood been in existence?
I've been involved with this multicultural program coming up on 18 years.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, and you've been recognized for the success of that program, I know.
Thank you.
It's wonderful.
And thank you for your upcoming participation in our Fibroid health summit.
I'm excited.
Yes.
Definitely. So can you tell me what made you decide to practice as a gynecologist?
You know, I love taking care of women, and I love taking care of women through what I call, there's sort of 3 reproductive cycles or 3 bloodlines.
Okay.
From puberty and adolescence through pregnancy and through perimenopause and menopause. So it allows me to see women as they go through many different transitions, continuity of care, taking care of very common problems, and being an advocate for some of the unspoken problems that women have to bring them to more awareness.
That's wonderful, and that resonates with me because this started off as the Fibroid Foundation, but I soon learned that women needed support throughout their entire menstrual journey, which is what you're referring to, and so we've evolved the mission to be able to provide that support at many phases of life.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's such an important point. So I wanted to talk to you particularly about, I've heard you speak so many times about patient and physician interfacing, and you do it so beautifully, and you point out some things that are just really pivotal to give the patient comfort and to allow the patient to be able to accomplish their goals for care. And so could you just, in the beautiful way that you do, just share your thoughts on when a patient comes to the office seeking treatment, how can they pursue a conversation with their care provider about their goals for care?
Okay, it's a lot to answer, but
I know, take
you
your
know,
time.
I think when patients come to a physician and the healthcare spectrum, our nurses, midwives that we work with, certified nurse practitioners, it's great. For me, I always embrace the Latin derivative of doctor means teacher. I think it's a very sacred relationship that patients and their physicians have. So I want my patients to know they're in a safe space, that we're going to give the needed time to listen, to evaluate, to know what their points of view are, what's valuable to them, and to begin to have a conversation. I want no secrets. I want to know what they want, what bothers them, what they're embarrassed about. We're speaking really about the fibroids right now and bleeding. So I think for patients, they should come prepared, know about their problem, their journey, bring records. You know, people are moving, and sometimes our health centers systems don't align. And I would want to make sure your recent PAP, your ultrasound, your mammograms, any blood work. Know what medicine you're on so that you can have a very vibrant conversation. And think about what your journey has been and share your story. A story is so important.
I think you're absolutely right, and it is a sacred space, and I think that's something to highlight that isn't really discussed enough, because there's tremendous vulnerability in that examination and visit. And so, you know, the fact that you describe that the way that you do and then treat patients with such care is one of the reasons that I just adore you and your work. So I want to just definitely ask a question about the pandemic that we are all just kind of starting to you know, get a little bit more fresh air in more ways than one, and just how I know that that has impacted medical care in general, but particularly those of us suffering with uterine fibroids, the care, and you as physician, you know, can you speak about the experience of COVID and perhaps comfort patients who might be hesitant to seek care right now?
Well, you know, COVID pandemic has been what I would call a roller coaster. Last March to compare to today where we are is certainly a lot better. We know more, we're doing better. And this is a time for people and patients not to neglect themselves. Hospitals are open. I worked every day, okay? We take special precautions from masking to sanitizing things. So I want our patients to know hospitals are very, very safe. And so they should not neglect getting their mammograms. If they're of the right age, 45 and above, they should be getting their colonoscopy. If they have an ache or a pain, they still should be seen. So the hospitals have never closed. And the beauty right now, at least for the Cleveland Clinic, we have pivoted from 5% of our visits being virtual to now almost 55 to 70%, where like on Monday this week, I will talk to 15 women by phone. Some of that's just for follow-up, and some things we can do a get to know you. Okay. But this, there are many health systems use telephone first, use a virtual visit where you can see your physician, I can see the patient, and we can talk and then establish, okay, you come in, you tell me you're bleeding a lot. I may say, go get blood work. It's safe to get your blood work. You might need an ultrasound. Now, at some point, you know, medicine is a hands-on profession, so I can't diagnose everything, but we may upfront get to know the patient really well and then bring her back. So we call those distance health visits, and they are available. So do not neglect yourself. I still say vaccinate, don't procrastinate. You know, we have not won the war yet, so it's still important for families and communities to take care of themselves. So yeah, come see us.
I'm glad you added the vaccination point because that is really important.
Oh, this is the most important thing that people can do for their community, for their families, to get back out for all of us to live and to build herd immunity. If I can pivot for just a moment, just know that the vaccine is extremely safe. The Cleveland Clinic celebrates sisterhood. I'm actually bringing or talking by video with Dr. Corbett. She's a PhD, the baddest sister, Kizzy Corbett, Kizmika Corbett, and I'll be interviewing her.
That's wonderful.
But her life work was mRNA vaccine, and a woman of color, and working very closely with Dr. Fauci. She's getting ready to move to Harvard to set up her own lab and do more research. So what I tell patients is that, you know, right now there's 15 vaccines. We don't see chickenpox, mumps, measles. The Cleveland Clinic's working on a breast cancer vaccine, not available. We have vaccine for meningococcemia, meningitis. I had 2 friends, young kids when I was growing up, that died from meningitis. We're having HPV vaccines, so doctors will not see cervical cancer in the future. Shingles vaccine. So when we think of all these vaccines, you know, Bill Gates is not in a microchip in the vaccine. No one is following you. It's not going to make you infertile.
Right.
So it's a very safe vaccine to get, and you need to be compliant to get 1 or 2. And I'm just going to encourage that because that's equally as important as getting your mammogram.
I couldn't agree more, and I'm so glad that you mentioned Dr. Corbett and gave an overview of the safety protocols around the vaccination, because I think a lot of people aren't aware of that, and it's important for everyone to know. And you actually answered my next question, which was, you know, would you like to share additional information? So I think that I just really appreciate your body of knowledge and how you approach teaching, as you mentioned earlier. So it's been such a pleasure to speak with you today.
And it's an honor to have been asked and for you to join us at this historic moment for fibroid research opportunities. Hopefully we can get money to learn more.
Absolutely.
And it's so important to have your voice and all the thousands of women that you are shepherding for education, awareness, and your advocacy. I just appreciate that.
I appreciate you, and thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you all for joining us today, and please stay tuned for more Living Your Best Life with Uterine Fibroids. Hello everyone, welcome to Dishing with Dr. Bradley. I'm Sateria, and I'm joined by some very special guests.
Hi, I am Taya. I am the Cleveland Ambassador for the Fibroid Foundation. Thank you so much for having me today.
Hi, my name is Mervyn Jones. I'm the principal of MLJ Strategies and the son of the late Stephanie Tubbs Jones.
And I'm Dr. Linda Bradley, professor of OBGYN and reproductive biology at the Cleveland Clinic, but I'm also known as the foodie gynecologist. And we're here today to have fun and to educate, inform, and kind of what I would say a day of edutainment. So thank you for joining us, and thank you, Sateria, for asking me.
Thank you.
So we're going to get started. I've got great helpers today. What we know is health is wealth. And this is about starting a food revolution in your home. Don't let the industry, folks, tell you that you cannot cook, that you can only eat fast food. So we're going to let you reclaim the kitchen. I am so glad to have Merv here, because if you have a man in the kitchen with you, there's more love in your home. If you have children in the kitchen, you can teach them mathematics. So home is, the kitchen is where we love, learn, live, and I want to reclaim it. I want to have my kids, when they were growing up, smelling all these great things that we have. So we're going to just share with you today an easy black bean salad. Just remember, a recipe, which you guys will have, is just like a blank canvas. I'm going to give some measurements, and maybe I won't give some measurements. We'll taste the food at the end. I love spicy, but if you don't like spicy, don't add as much as you may see me. If you don't like as much salt, or you shouldn't have that much salt in your diet, just take it out. So just remember, it's a blank canvas. So we're going to share today with you why we talk to our patients and our community about eating well. I just think the food is where love begins, and I want to just share with you my passion. I know, Merv, you said your mom, Stephanie, the late Stephanie, tell us what she did.
She was a wizard in the kitchen when she was able to cook. Of course, she had a busy schedule, but she made sure that Sundays were family days. You know, I would help prep, she would cook. My dad would come down and eat because he worked nights, but nonetheless.
Did he do the dishes?
He did.
Okay.
All right. We all just made it a family thing, and it was a way for my mom to translate, you know, recipes that she had learned growing up, so I could pass them on to my daughter. So it's all well and good.
Excellent. I wish she were here today. We can get her in the kitchen.
Oh yeah, she's a big baker.
Okay.
Oh,
all
wow,
right. That
awesome.
takes a lot of skill. And what about you?
I am learning how to chef. So I've learned from my grandparents that were in Alabama, and my grandparents taught my mother, which taught me. So I grew up around chefs. My uncle was a chef, actually. So we had a garden, and we had a smokehouse in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. So I've learned how to cook so many dishes. So I love cooking, and like you said, cooking is home, is where the heart is. And I also transferred that to my son as well. So cooking makes me feel great, and I love to eat healthy food.
Okay, excellent. And she's got the best
I have
peach
the
cobbler.
yes,
okay.
Taya's peach cobbler is amazing.
All right, we'll have to try that. Maybe your daughter and you will be able to do a cooking section.
Definitely.
And how about you? What do you like to do in the kitchen?
Oh my goodness, I just revived some of my grandmother's recipes. So I've been baking cakes during the pandemic, which is so relaxing. And I really enjoy it. So I'm going to try some more of her recipes. We didn't save as many as I would have liked, but we have 3.
Excellent.
So my cousins and I are going to get in the kitchen and tackle some more of her recipes.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Well, let's get started. Let's dish up. So we're going to have helpers today, and I'm going to have Merv to first start. So this is a black bean salad. It's very simple in terms of what we're going to cook. We're going to have beans. We're going to have some fresh limes. We're going to have cilantro. We'll share that with you.
I love cilantro.
Oh, it's
you know, 7% of people have a gene that makes them not like it, and it tastes like soap.
Really?
So sometimes when people eat my salad and they say they don't like it, well, I was like, you have a gene for against cilantro. So for instance, if you have that gene, just put parsley in it. This is your blank canvas.
I like to chop it with big chicken.
Yes. In fact, today I'm going to show you, we're going to have knife skills, but we're going to just cut. So this is when your little daughter, when she's not old enough yet to manage this, get your scissors and shears out.
Oh, wow.
So we're going to add that. We're going to have fresh basil, which I just showed you. Fresh corn. Now we know corn season is coming up. We're going to take this off, and we're going to show you how you get the mother liquor out of your corn. And we're going to do some red pepper flakes just so you can get your kitchen together. Anytime that I use one ingredient that requires also oils, that I try to, the recipe may say, which just says 2 tablespoons of olive oil. One will be regular, the other will be basil, so we enhance that flavor. I'm going to also add a little bit of red onion, which is also colorful, and a red pepper, which we've already diced up, and we have some tomatoes, which have plenty of nutrients for lycopene, which is excellent. So I'm going to first start with beans. Beans are the cheapest thing. If you want to soak dried beans, you can do that, but you can buy 10 cans for $10.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have Merv to drain. Thank you. Just dump that in there.
All right.
Okay.
And I'm going to have you do the other. Inside of this, let me just show them. Now, I'm also a person that saves everything, not for this recipe. Can you see this fluid or the liquid?
Yeah.
That's called aquaphoba. It adds starch. So sometimes I will drain this and
Okay.
keep it in my freezer. So when I
Wow.
do a soup, this naturally adds the starch.
That's
Okay,
a good
but
tip.
for
I
this,
didn't
yes,
know
do
that.
not throw the starch
Wow.
out. Okay, it's very good, and you can even put it in little ice cube containers. And if you just need an ice cube worth to thicken up something, it's very good. But we're going to
Wow.
ask for this to drain. And what? Here you go. He's just draining this. What do Americans have the most problem with? Constipation.
Yes.
We also have problems with diabetes. The beans are full of fiber. They're great if you're diabetic or pre-diabetic because they're digested slowly. And so this is a great, there's all kind of beans, pinto, red beans, cannelli beans. You just name it. And you can also embellish this with different colors. So Merv is rinsing this off. And then what we're going to do next is to have Soteria, just do me a favor, just cut that in half. And let me show you one trick. We do not have a microwave here, but people complain about eating citrus, okay? We eat the whole lime or lemon, not in this recipe, but we're going to show you in the next recipe. This skin has the essence, we call it the zest, or the skin, a lot of good oils. If I were at home, I would throw this in the microwave for 30 seconds because you'll render more juice. The other is that you just treat it like this. You just get your muscles or squeeze it, get the arms like Michelle Obama.
Okay. Ooh,
So, you know, you do
okay.
that. Okay, so let's have you cut the other one.
Ooh, can I do the squeeze?
Yeah, get it kind of. And the other thing, from the dollar store, I love toys in the kitchen. You will get more juice out of this because somebody will say, oh my God, they're 50 cents each. We're going to use the skin. This is good at the end of the day for your microwave if you wanted to clean it. At night, I would save all of this and put it in my garbage disposal and just put my garbage disposal on once or twice and let it stay overnight, and it just adds a great fragrance. I'm going to just use that one. So we're going to put juice 2 limes, okay, and at the end we might put more. Okay, you see how much this device gets out? And I'm going to go back, let it rest. We'll put more.
Okay.
It also catches seeds. So you can do lemons with this. There's a bigger, lemons and limes. You can buy one that's
get a wrist workout.
Yeah.
a wrist workout, absolutely. And then the other thing, there's one that's bigger if you want to do oranges.
Oh,
okay?
okay.
It's a little bit big unless you got the little clementines, and sometimes I will use that. I need your help. Can you
Okay,
squeeze
here
that
we go.
really hard for me?
Here we go.
Look at that.
Oh, wow, okay,
All right,
okay.
hold on. Let's put this back. Hold on. So I go back. I'm Miss Cheapo. Let's squeeze all of these.
All right.
Okay. Okay, excellent. And then we'll just take it out and put it in here. That one's done. Take the next one for me. We can just go back and re-squeeze it. Push, push, push. Yeah. And doesn't it smell aromatic?
Yeah, it
smells
does
great.
very citrusy.
I didn't do too bad with that one. I got quite a bit out.
Yeah, I think you're good.
Don't forget, if you were home, first put it in a microwave for just 30 seconds, and then do this.
Okay.
And we're just being
I didn't know
prudent.
the microwave
I didn't
trip,
either.
though.
Okay,
Me
go
neither.
ahead.
Rather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
There we go.
I'm learning something new.
Excellent. So we've got that. We're not going to throw this away because I'm taking this home for my garbage disposal. Okay, but we'll put that there. Why don't you just start mixing this a little bit? All right, the next thing we're going to do is add corn. Now, I've already boiled the corn. Now, you can use frozen corn for this, or this is, this I bought yesterday. It's fresh corn. You could shuck it. I just learned a tip yesterday from whoever, how to cook corn. Basically, you bring it to boil, the pot of water. Do not put any salt or sugar in it.
Okay.
Boil it, I put 4 ears in, and then put the top on it and turn off the heat.
Okay.
And just let it sit for 10 to 30 minutes. It's not starchy, it doesn't get hard, and it doesn't get gummy. Okay. Wow. So what we're gonna do, we've washed our hands and everything. This is corn, and this one was already done. You can just, I'm cheap because I come from a mother who had lived through the Depression. I use everything, okay? And then what we call, at least in our culture, is eating from the mother liquor. Let me have that. So this right here, we're just going to save a plate. And you just kind of get your corn. And what you're doing when you do this, I do this in here, I'm actually getting that liquid. We call that the mother liquor. That just adds more flavor. Now, if I were going to do a vegetable soup, a minestrone that used corn, let me tell you another secret. When you do your vegetable stock, you go to boil it, put all your corn in and then take it out. Just like you would put ham hocks or turkey legs. It adds more flavor, okay? And you just cook with that, okay? And it just, so I'm getting all of that, okay? And then what we're going to do, go ahead and sort of break that up. And we're just adding color. Now, what I'm going to do, a lot of people do not like red onions because they're so pungent. Yeah. A quick tip before we move on. This recipe calls for about 1/4 of a cup of red onions, which I've diced. This is what they look like, and we just diced it. I'm going to put about 1/4 of a cup. But Merv, I'm going to ask you just to fill this up. I'm going to put a little bit more. Just fill it up with water. Okay. And if you're cooking a salad and you don't want that raw taste from the whether it's garlic, in this case red onion, just put water, just fill it up, and we're going to let that sit. And what that'll do is take away that pungent taste for a little while. So that's, yeah, because some people will say, oh, it's just too raw. So you can leave it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and usually for this salad, I'll start that first. Again, I tell my patients to eat, their plate should look like the rainbow. Eat from the colors. Everything should be colorful. So you see how we're building color. We're going to just leave that there. And so now I took little cherry tomatoes, and I've already cut them. I left a few of them whole.
Do you have tomatoes that you like to cook with most? Oh, I never know what tomatoes to get.
Well,
the
there's
yellow ones, the red ones, the grape.
Well, this is depends on what you're eating. So this is just for color. It's a good source of lycopene, which is for your eyes. So people as they age with glaucoma, cataracts, it's just good. And again, it's the color. One quick tip, sometimes I take these and make my own marinara sauce. So I just cut them in half like this, put them on a sheet pan, put olive oil, and I will also sprinkle some garlic cloves, and you put them on your sheet pan at 150 to 200, like for 6-8 hours or overnight. They shrivel up and they become almost like sun-dried tomatoes. Or if you get a bunch of a bunch of tomatoes like this. Last year, did you mention Val Scott?
Yeah, I did.
Oh my God, I went to her. Okay, she gave me 100 of these from her community garden. I love Val. I mean, she is a legend of her own. I cut these, of course, take this out. Cut these in half, put them on a sheet pan, sprinkle different flavored olive oil, salt, pepper, Italian herbs, whatever you want. Again, put them at, cook low and go slow. Go to bed at night at 10 o'clock. Leave your oven on for 150. I think my lowest is 180. Okay. And in the morning, they're shriveled. Then I put it in a blender, the best concentrated flavors. So you make your own, and if you cook it long enough, you'll even get sun-dried. They're just, like sun-dried. So, yes, okay, all right. Here you go. Let's put that in. So those are for the lycopene. Just kind of mix that around. And I actually had, yeah, that's fine. Keep doing that. And then we have red peppers. Now, the red peppers, but if you want yellow, we said cook by the rainbow. So we're going to put this in. Okay. And I'm going to have you start with your jalapeno. Okay. So this is a jalapeno. It's not the hottest pepper, but if you leave the seeds in, it'll be hotter. So I always say do it to your choice. You can start with a half, and just cut it in half, and then just take the seeds out. And do not touch your eyes afterwards. So you need the knife. Okay, and let me just do that. Thank you. And then what we're going to do, now I love whole pepper. Me too. Because you get the oil. So I always cook with a blend of peppers, red, green, white, black. Do not use pepper from the can. Please, please, it'll give me a heart attack. Do not, okay? So Merv, I'm just going to have you probably, I know you use this, just go around a few times, or Taya. No. All right. And what we're going to do, this recipe also, while they're doing that, It says 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Olive oil is actually very good for your heart, but don't forget, it still has calories, 120 calories to a tablespoon. This recipe originally called for 4 tablespoons. You really don't need all that olive oil. It's just enough to, sometimes I make it without it, especially when I'm on my diet, right? But today, it's summer, almost. So it's 1 tablespoon. We are going to add a different olive oil because we're going to add basil. So you can get this basil, there's all kinds, mandarin orange, lemon, lime. Like when I'm doing fish, I'll sprinkle it instead of just regular olive oil. Just add some more flavor. So this is the basil, just 1 tablespoon. Don't forget 120 calories, so don't go crazy with it. My patients will say, Dr. Bradley, you said olive oil is good, and I fried my chicken in olive oil. And it's still a fat, okay? And it's still a lot, and it's still fried, okay? So, yeah, I love my patients. They're so sweet. All right. And now we're going to add some other spices. Now, the rest, I'm just going to shake a little bit. This is the red pepper. And red pepper, this is good if you have arthritis, spicy things, cayenne pepper, sriracha pepper. It helps your joints, okay? The other herb or spice that I love is ground cumin. A lot of Indian people, Mexican people use this, but this gives you, it's great. Now the recipe says 1 to 2 teaspoons. I will season it to taste. I sometimes put a little bit more, so go ahead, that's 2. And knowing my palate, I'm gonna put 3, okay? And you really, because we're gonna let this sort of sleep or marinate a little bit. Doesn't it smell wonderful? Now, we can do fancy knife skills and all of that, but I'm going to do what I did when my kids were little. This is the cilantro. It's already been washed. I am just going to, if I could borrow that plate for a second, I'm just going to cut it. In fact, I'll have Merv, I'll show you. So yes, I could take my fancy knife out, but my grandma and mom used to do this all the time, and I thought they were like, oh, why is that? But this is what all the chefs do now, okay? So they were ahead of their time. So just cut maybe to this much for me, okay? If you could just, and then we're gonna put that in, okay? And then what we're also gonna do is do our fresh basil. Sometimes when my dad was living, he would plant fresh basil, so you can get this like this from the store, and you can keep it in your house for a long time. So we'll also have Merv to cut this. I'll just take off a few of these leaves here. Okay, we'll just discard the ones that we don't like.
Okay.
Okay, and I'll let you cut those too. This has all been cleaned. And then we're going to add a little bit of salt. I think the recipe says to taste, so I'm just going to, we can taste it at the end.
So the jalapenos already.
Oh, let's put the jalapeno, let's put half of them. Are you guys spicy folks or not?
Absolutely.
I'm sweet, spicy.
Okay,
so.
okay. There you go. That's good. Let's start with that. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, excellent. You are doing such a great job. And I don't think the salt came out, so if you could put it back here for me. There's just a few shakes of that. Let's keep this. Okay.
I know it's so
Okay. And then I think we have everything. You know what I thought about today? Let's finish. Okay, you're getting that.
The lime juice really brings
It livens it. Could I have the cutting board for a second and the knife?
Okay, let me just.
Like I can honestly eat this whole bowl myself.
So let me tell you, sometimes I make this as a salsa. We'll talk about other things that we could do with this. And everybody sort of has their own creativity. So let's see, did you do a first grade kindergarten shopping? Oh, come on, a little smaller, little smaller.
Okay.
I'm going to take half. I'm going to just, I think you might be able to see me here. So you can, I don't smoke, but you can, what they call chiffonade these. So you take the whole basil leaf, if you have a few. Let's just take, we have that. So a quicker way to do it also. And then as you roll it tightly, that's a French word for cigars. So you roll, 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 and then you can cut, cut, cut.
Yes.
Okay, so you can do it that way.
All the flavors together.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna, so what I wanna say is everybody doesn't have all this stuff, but it definitely just is another dimension for, doesn't it, fresh?
Opens up.
Oh, and you never put this in until the last minute. Okay, so we're almost done with that flavor. Could you do me a favor, because now we have let these red onions be in the water, so it's not going to be as strong. Just drain this for me, and then we can just put that in there, no water.
Are these good now?
I like that now.
All right.
Okay, let me see. You can just move that over, yes.
And then in every good household, they tell you clean while you cook. Right?
That, yeah. Okay, so we've got a nice amount of cilantro. So we said about a half of this. Now these stems, I actually cook with them. This is where your flavor is. Just make them very fine. People say throw it away. It's like, that's throwing away money. No way. So it depends on what you're eating. And we're going to go back and recheck. So let's me put this in here just to make it a little more bite size. And you did a great job, Merv. We'll keep you. Okay, so let's just put that in and just mix that. There you go. I'm going to have you just to take that for me and rinse. And if you could just rinse that for me. So I'm just going to check again. We have done, I think, everything, and now we need to sort of do a taste test. What I would normally do at this point is let this sleep or marinate for a little bit. We made this salad this morning.
How does this refrigerate?
This can keep for 2 to 3 days.
Okay.
The only thing is I would not add the tomato. If you're going to, like for yourself or if you're eating alone, only add the tomatoes as you want them.
Okay.
Because the tomatoes will get soggy.
Okay.
And my other thing using this recipe, I would not use green pepper.
Okay.
Because it just seems like after a day or two, it does something. So I would use yellow or red pepper.
Good to know.
And that's just, and again, we're cooking, this is this blank canvas. And then what we're going to do, we've got this beautiful salad. Like this morning, I could have put avocado in here. Just think of things that you could add. Slice and chop avocado. You can use this with
I love
dips.
avocado.
As a dip with, what would we say? Corn cheese. Yeah, okay.
My mom calls them alligator pears.
Yeah, okay, okay. And so we'll taste it, but we did something this morning already. And this has been cooking for a while. It's not even cooking, but sort of sitting for a while. And we've got a beautiful, let's have that mixed up, and then we're going to plate it. If you can wash those two off. And it just creates a nice mixture that you can see. And every cook should sort of taste. So we have some spoons or forks here.
Can we tilt that a little bit so everyone can see it? How pretty that is.
So we've cooked by the rainbow. It's all fresh. It's seasonal. And just think on your own, what else might you add to this? Any other vegetables?
Well, you mentioned avocado. I would love, I might do maybe like an orange pepper.
Okay, yeah. Orange, yellow peppers.
Cucumber?
I would try it, yeah. I'm sorry?
Olives? No?
I don't know about olives, but you might try it. That's your new recipe.
Okay.
So I tend to want to do things with crunch. Anything else?
See, I'm a big garlic person, but to go along with that garlic, I would do Brussels sprouts.
Brussels sprouts, interesting. So
That
you can
sounds
make
good
this
too.
what you like. So we've got all kinds of things in here. Beans for our digestive system to help with our blood sugars. If you eat a lot of beans, you also will lose weight. Because it slowly absorbs. Some foods go through you so fast, so this keeps you feeling full longer. I like it. I wouldn't put this in the freezer, but I would say that it is kept, if you don't eat it, if I'm like me, I'll eat this up within a day. Our family would eat it up within a day or so. But this is really nice if you're doing a block party, going somewhere. It's pretty much, you don't have to keep it refrigerated forever, so you can leave it out. I actually like it more at room temperature myself, but it's actually very tasty.
I can't wait to...
So let's try it. I'm going to give you a plate. You can dry that off. I have a little towel there, and I'll let you do the drying. And we did have some spoons or forks, so let's just see. Test that.
Thank you, too.
And see, and I should have tasted it to make sure. Would you mind before you do that, let me make sure that it's well seasoned. Just give me just a small, it's really, really small, even smaller. That's good. I just want to taste it myself first. Hold on. It's very good. You know what I want? You haven't eaten off of that. Put that back. At the very end, let's juice this one more time.
Okay.
So,
I'm gonna rinse this.
so do that roly, squeezy,
Okay,
squeezy.
okay.
And I would probably
Thank
just add
you.
this. And let's have you to do, just cut it in half, and then Mr. Muscles here will get all that.
We're putting Merv to work. Okay.
Mr. Muscles.
Okay, so here we go. Here are our limes.
Okay, there you go, Mr. Muscles.
All right, thank you.
And just kind of put it on top, and then we'll,
Truly a team effort.
and this is really excellent. Okay, and we'll give
Where's
them,
your microwave bowl?
yeah, I know. We'll flip it over, and I have something somewhere. Well, I think it's really good. Also known as the cheapie, so we do it twice.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, better luck, right?
Get it all out.
Sometimes, yeah.
Oh,
Good. I think you got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it came out afterward, yeah.
Whoops, we're good. All right, now mix.
Okay.
And I'll hold these for later. And I'll take one too, thank you.
So you want to mix from like take it from the bottom
Yep.
to the top, so you
That's
can
good.
just incorporate all the juices and stuff like that.
Well, let you taste a little bit, see if you
Okay.
want anything
Okay.
else. Just a small amount, and then we can.
Okay, I'll taste a little bit. I'll do a taste test.
Did you think it needs more
It
salt?
looks so good.
There's another
Okay,
plate for you.
thank you.
You have a plate too. Okay, you guys okay? We'll serve him up.
That is really good.
We'll give him a bigger one.
Okay.
That is so good.
And then I'll get mine, and we can toast to each other's delicious salad. That's plenty, thank you.
I think everyone's gonna love this
So here's our
recipe.
plate,
Oh,
and
sorry, I don't mean to reach.
so it's very beautiful, it's very colorful, it's very healthy, and you know what? It's very inexpensive when you look at
That's
it.
important too, that it's affordable. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's okay?
You put your foot in this one.
Oh, God,
Yeah.
okay.
You did. And
It's
the
really,
tomatoes
really-
are like bursting, and the juices and the lime. The
So how many
cilantro.
limes did we use?
4, was it 4?
Okay.
Well, I want to thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Dr. Bradley. As I chew, this is outstanding and healthy.
So
And-
it's fun, it's easy. It's really almost a dumpable meal. Everything was just dumped in here. And you can save it. It's just delicious.
And the theme for July is living your best life, and nutrition is high on that list. So we hope that you will try this recipe and feel well, be well, and thrive.
Thank you. You
Thank
guys are
you.
great chefs. Okay.
Hello again. Welcome to segment 2 of Dishing with Dr. Bradley, and I am rejoined by our special guest, Cleveland Ambassador Taya Howard.
Hi.
And Mervyn L. Jones II.
Hey, everybody.
And Dr. Linda Bradley. So Dr. Bradley, what are we cooking?
Well, who has a sweet tooth?
I do.
Okay.
I have 2
Always.
sweet tooths.
Always. So we want to make a dish today that's a sweet tooth that satisfies it, but it's healthy and it's filling. And it could stay in your refrigerator for a couple of days. So we're going to do something today that's called a dairy-free chia seed parfait. And I'm also going to make something with blueberries. We actually had some leftover cantaloupe from this morning with other fresh fruit. And a very good friend of mine, Yolanda Ramos, a lot of this recipe is from her kitchen. Of course, every chef has that blank canvas, and I've embellished it a little bit, but she turned me on to this. I do have to give a shout out to Yolanda. Very simple. You're going to learn how to make what's called a chia seed pudding, and we'll talk a little bit about it. Very simple with the ingredients. And then we're going to do what I call a chutney. This happens to be, it's in season. This is strawberry and rhubarb and raspberries.
Wow.
But you know, this week on sale were blueberries and blackberries, so you could use that also. And you don't have to do the cooking if you don't want to. So I'm going to show 3 things, hopefully pretty quickly, because we're just going to dish it up. But first, let's go to the stove and learn how to make this rhubarb, strawberry, raspberry chutney. And you can actually put this on other things because it actually makes a lot. And you don't use that much, but it's delicious. So here's what we're going to need first. I'm going to take over some strawberries, the raspberries, 2 cups of strawberries for this recipe, 1 cup of rhubarb. I'm going to have Soteria actually maybe start with doing the ginger. We're going to learn how to grate the ginger and also to use a little bit of cardamom, which is another spice that's here. That's from the family of ginger and used in a lot of Middle Eastern foods and Turkish foods. And just a little bit goes a long way. We'll talk more about that. We're going to talk about zesting and show you how to zest your lemon, because it's the skin of the lemon minus the pith that's going to go in here. And then we're going to squeeze this lemon to get all the juice out of it, and it'll also be a part of our dish. So let's show them how to use the grater first, because I'm going to need the whole one. So show us a piece of ginger looks like this. Ginger is great if you're pregnant, you have morning sickness. It's good for nausea. People that take car trips and have motion sickness, it's good to make a little potion of water with ginger. If you have cancer and you're getting chemotherapy, and it's also just a palate pleaser. I often cut a few slices of ginger and just put it in my water, and it just gives a very aromatic, very kind of sometimes even spicy flavor. So she's going to work on that. And all she did first was to take off the skin. And let me just show you this zest, the plane, the one that you're using, the instrument. Right here, instrument. You can tell I'm in surgery, right? This is what it looks like. And what she's done is she's just rubbing this back and forth. And then when she gets a lot on here, this is the ginger, she'll just tap it. So if you can get most of that done while we're starting some things, that'll help. And then we'll come back and look at what needs to be done next. The first part, you're just going to cook for 10 minutes or so on the stove. And then the secret, though, is to put it in the refrigerator a few hours just so that it gets cold. So let's start with making this, and I'll go over to the stove and they'll join me in just a second. All right. All right, so everything's been cleaned, washed, and cut. So let me just turn the stove on. There we go. All right, if you could hand me the strawberries, they're already cut right here. And you can put that in. And then if you can get the raspberries, they're right there. Excellent. And then we have something that's called rhubarb. This is by itself, it doesn't have a really sweet taste, but it adds a lot of flavor to your foods. A lot of people make rhubarb pie, rhubarb parfaits, so this is what it comes like. And I've already cleaned it, but it's chopped now. So we're just going to put this in here. And don't forget, fruits release a lot of their own water. So I'm going to put about a teaspoon, about 1/4 of a cup of water in here, because you don't want it to be too liquid. And then if you could give me that right there, the spoon, right here, we can just use that. I think it'll be safe. Okay, because it's a little warm. But what you're going to do is just, I have it up too high. So we're just going to let this cook down until it's soft, okay? And that's what we're doing. Now, this is a smaller pot. You don't want to put too much water. 1/4 of a cup to 1/2 of a cup will usually work. And I'm just going to tell you how it's going to end up. It's going to look very soft. And that's going to be a part of your parfait. So we could do this with blueberries, blackberries. You can do it with many different things. I'm going to show you this parfait that's cooked, and then we're going to just try it with fresh berries, the blueberries. But this is just going to be one. And as they say, just trust me, in a minute, 10 minutes, this will cook down, and I'm going to move away from this. And then we're going to go over to there to finish up. Once it has cooked down, what you're going to do is then add all of these other ingredients. So if I could get the cardamom, if you see it, yep, and the lemon. Okay. Let's zest it for a moment.
Okay.
And let me show you how we'll do that very, very quickly. So you could actually, this has been cleaned. I just forgot to take off the sticker. And Merv, if you can stir that so that it doesn't burn for me. Can you get this off?
Yes.
So again, you can zest, thank you. You can zest the, this is just getting a stronger flavor, okay? And I'm just gonna zest right in here. So you use this for ginger, lemon, lime, and when I get this here, we're just gonna tap it in. So you don't wanna get the white, the pith, it'll be too, what do you call it, strong?
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's just keep doing that.
Too tart.
Too tart, that's a better, thank you.
You're a baker.
So it's very good. But can't you imagine where you would put this on? This always, citrus always adds flavor. And I like the micro grater because you're not going to get big pieces of skin in your teeth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you can go around and do that. And again, you're getting exercise. You could have your little kids help you with this. Get that husband or partner in the kitchen. It makes for a lovely love life. Ooh.
Mental notes.
Mental note. Okay, let's say that again.
Emotional
Men who help in the
well-being.
kitchen have a loving relationship. Okay? All right, show this video to your loved ones. All right, and now let's cut this in half and then cut it in half for me. And let me have the other that you already started, the ginger. We can go with what we have, if you can bring that to me. Cut that in half and then go ahead and get me, let me just show them one more time a little closer.
All right.
So we're going to do the ginger, and you're going to do the same thing. And you just rub, rub, rub. And it's just going to add flavor. Did we put the, no, we've got the cardamom. Do a shake of cardamom, just a nice shake. One more. Okay, that's good. It adds such a different kick or different flavor.
And see how quickly it's breaking down.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is.
And the rhubarb kind of reminded me of celery. I've seen it
Yes.
in the market, but I've just overlooked it because I never knew what to
Yeah, just,
do with
you
it.
just tap it. And just for this purpose, let me just use what you've already had. And can you give me the yellow squeezer for the lemon squeezer?
Sure.
We're going to just, she's already done this for me. And you can put that in here, we can use that. And I'm going to just juice the 2 lemons, and you don't have to worry too much about the seeds because the juicer will take care of that.
Put the juicer away.
Okay, can we pause for a second?
I'll
No?
grab it.
Okay. We're just going to squeeze this by our hand. It's in one of our bags. That's okay. Muscles. Okay?
Mr.
Go ahead. So I'm going to just squeeze, squeeze, squeeze.
Okay.
And I'm just going to take the seeds out. So we can do this what our grandmothers did. They didn't have all these other implements. That's perfect.
Oh, okay.
So you can just squeeze it. He's got it. And I would take those seeds out in a minute, but that's okay. Go ahead and do that.
Okay.
That's juice of 1 lemon. The same thing, I would have put this in the microwave first and then rolled it and then used the
You said 30 seconds? in
30
the
seconds,
microwave?
yeah, because you don't
Okay.
want it to bust. I did it 2 minutes and it just explodes.
Oh, wow.
Got it.
Excellent. You really got a lot out. We can put that there.
Thank you.
Okay. And then we're going to just turn this down to low. And a little bit of salt. If you give me that pink Himalayan sea salt, we'll just put a shake in here. Just a little. I think, yeah, just, you got it? That's plenty. That's plenty. That's plenty. That's okay. Okay, no problem. So we've got the ginger, the cardamom, the lemon, a little bit of water. And next we're going to cover this. And for just 10 minutes, we're going to
That
cook it on low.
really
That's done.
Cooks down.
Yeah.
Okay, it will cook down. And, oh, sorry. Okay, well, there you go. And we'll go back over. Put that for
Okay.
me. Okay, now let's make the parfait. I'm going to go back. You guys will come with me. All right, this is very simple. So if I could, I want to show you something that's called, if you could show this to the folks, this is chia seeds.
Modeling the chia seeds.
Okay, and what it is, it's actually very famous. It's a high protein, high in omega-3, which helps for heart. And in Mexico, the Aztec Indians, the big runners, this was their food for fuel. They could run dozens of miles with this. What happens is that this has a lot, it's protein, and by itself it's a seed, okay? But when we mix it with water, or like in this case, we're going to use a nut milk. This is, again, we're keeping it low fat or no fat. And so this is an unsweetened plain almond milk. You could use soy milk. You could use almond milk. You could use rice milk. But I just happen to choose this. So what you're going to do next is to put 2 tablespoons, if I could have that, I'm sorry, the cup there. If you could rinse this off for me, I would appreciate it. And do me a favor, Sateria, go ahead and we're good. Actually, we're good. We're going to keep this. Perfect. So what we're going to do next is to take this, and the recipe is going to make this. This is what it's going to look like. But you need to make this 2 to 4 hours before. So what we're going to do is just take 2 tablespoons of chia seeds. Let's just use this, and if you can open that for me. So 2 tablespoons. That's 1. You know what? This was 2. We actually did it right. And we're going to just, for this, we're going to use half a cup of almond milk for this. So I'm just going to measure this out. And if you can get ready to get a spoon to stir this, so when I want you to see this, you can cover that for me. So I'm going to add the nut milk. So you see right now it's just not, it's not solid or like a gel. Then you want to add flavor to this. So I'm adding a couple shakes of cinnamon. You should have cinnamon every day. Cinnamon is good for prevention of dementia and Alzheimer's.
That is
okay.
Great information.
So that's, I mean, I tell my mom who's 90 every day, put it in applesauce, put it in any kind of fruits. So we're going to do that. I amp it up because I'm using almond milk. Add more flavor, some a little bit of almond flavoring. And again, 1/4 of a teaspoon or whatever. You can start mixing that for me. And add even a little bit more flavor. I'm going to put some pure vanilla. Do not buy artificial, guys. This is where your money is worth it. Okay, just a little bit. That might have been a little much, but that's okay. So we're going to mix that. And the consistency, is going to get thick. So I'm going to let you take that over there. It's not going to get thick on its own. This I made last night. And so now what we see is the consistency. It's like a gelatin. So if you have an egg allergy or you don't want to eat egg yolk, you can replace chia seeds with fluid, water, almond milk to replace eggs in desserts, okay? I also sometimes just, what'll happen, you see how this swells up? So you can put the dry chia seeds and just drink it, and you will feel full. And this it will last for a long time. So it keeps you from having all of that hunger. So what we're going to do next is I think we have everything that's cooking. This was the rhubarb. So now I'm going to show you how you would plate this. So we're going to first get a little parfait glass. And I'm going to first kind of put the chia seeds at the bottom. I'll try to save enough for everybody. And we'll get our spoons ready. So this is the bottom. You see it's very gelatinous, but we flavored it, okay? The next thing is to put the chutney next. I know I didn't have the right, so I'm just going to mix that up. I'm going to actually, I'm so sorry that it's going to get on the glass because I don't have the right spoon, but it's supposed to look beautiful. Yes, that looks better. Okay, we'll do that for the next one, okay? And then the next thing that we're going to use, the chutney again, the chia seed. So it depends on the size of your idea was good. Let's just try that to see. Can you shake up the whipped cream? Sure. But it's really not whipped cream. So this is it's going to look prettier. I'm so sorry for that, but we've got, do you have a paper towel? Yes. Okay, I can use this one. We're going to use this one. This is what they do at the restaurants, right? To make your plate.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. But you see the different colors, and now let's see if I don't. So instead of whipped cream, this has no fat. It's sweetened with real cane sugar. We're going to get take a mint.
Okay.
And who doesn't like chocolate? So we're going to shave
That
the
looks so
chocolate. I
good.
just need the grater first.
Okay, I'll get.
And then we're going to grate some chocolate on top just for presentation.
Okay.
And maybe get a little extra strawberry on top that we can eat, or you can cut it and put it on the side of your glass. Thank you so much. You can just grate a little bit of chocolate shavings. Do you see that?
That looks so nice.
See how easy that is?
Yeah.
And then we're going to have somebody taste this in a minute.
We can get right.
And let's put a little piece of mint there, if you can. Got it? And that's just kind of, and if I cut this with the knife, if I was at a restaurant, oh, I did cut it. Just do like a little garnish, okay? So let's have, you would like to try first?
No, ladies first.
Okay. So
Go
it's
ahead,
very good. And I,
Okay.
you got it?
It's amazing.
Okay.
Let's just try another one. I'll make it a little easier here so you can see that it just, one. So we're just putting, we're
We have
putting
a
the
happy
parfait at the
customer
bottom.
here.
So you can kind of layer it as much as you want. Then the the chia seed. Then this. Okay.
We have plenty of spoons.
And then I'm going to do something different. We're going to just add this here this time. And then, I don't know if that's going to work for you, Marvin, but we'll do it. And probably not. But you can put that around
Could
it.
we add some of the blueberries?
That's
and
what I was going to
blackberries
show you in
also,
just
too?
a moment.
Okay.
And let's just, it's not, we're just being creative here now.
This is so good.
Do you have an extra spoon for Merv?
I do.
And this is just a little chocolate. We talked about that chocolate. And everybody deserves a little bit of a sweet tooth. And then just do me a favor, just cut this like a little bit in half. These I may have done that already. And the mint will forgo for you, but just try that. Now, let's try another glass. And we're going to just try fresh blueberries, okay? Let's try this one. So you do need the right kind of, how do you like it? A little different, huh?
That is spot on.
Let's add this.
Light, sweet.
It gives you,
That looks pretty with the blueberries.
you know what I didn't put in there, guys, is, well, this is sweet because I made it correctly. Add about 2 tablespoons of either maple syrup to that or agave.
Into
It's
the chutney.
Into the chutney. I
Okay.
really do apologize. I had it here. But
That's
we're okay.
okay.
But that's the taste. And then we could even put this on top. We're just going to kind of be creative, different types of fresh and season. And what I do, I like this little, and then they said you can go back and put more of the parfait because it's seasoned with the cinnamon, the vanilla, the almond. And I just like this. When I found out there's only 10 calories.
Oh, wow.
I could just eat the whole thing. And then you just do, anybody allergic to chocolate,
My
you okay?
dog likes whipped cream.
So we'll just do that. And put another pretty piece of, I'll let you do that. Okay, and there one piece of, just for
mint
color.
garnish is pretty.
So you could do anything. You can put any kind of garnish on this, okay? So this is just simple summer eating, and then you can just
Looks
enjoy.
really
This is
good.
yours.
Thank you.
And I'll do, everybody's got one but me, right? But you see how much this makes.
Yeah.
It makes a lot.
And it's, I'll take
It's
the,
very free.
Yeah.
it is.
Which is
Let me have
fantastic.
another one of these right here, please, if you don't mind, just so I can put this here. Thank you.
Yeah.
But this you can keep in the refrigerator for 2 to 3 days.
Okay.
You do not, just show the consistency of the other. See, it's
The
not ready.
chutney is so good.
So that's not ready. So you have to, it has to thicken up and absorb. That's why it swells and it leads to, so I'm just adding,
Almost like oatmeal.
it's like
Right.
oatmeal, yeah. So you're going to add this on the bottom, the chutney on the top. Okay, I'm going to go with, since I've got it right here, some blueberries, just to, so you can do red, white, and blue, maybe for 4th of July or
There you
season.
go.
And we're going to go back to, so
And
you
they
just
make
layer
different
it.
types of chia seeds, aren't there?
You know, there are different colors. I'm only familiar with this one, to be quite honest. And this is here. And I think the next is this.
Get your whipped cream.
Whoa, that's okay. And then we're going to just, whoops, I had cut these earlier today. You get the idea. And a little.
Beautiful.
Let's just take this, and maybe all of us will just.
Cheers.
Cheers, and
Cheers,
we'll
cheers,
have
cheers,
our taste.
Sorry, I'm almost done with
Okay, well, we can give you,
Cheers.
but you see how beautiful that is?
Yes,
So
yes.
if you have beautiful glasses, champagne glasses, you have, I mean, I've even served it in a little bowl like this. So just be colorful and creative, and just think of all the different, I've put, we were gonna put this in here. So just imagine, because I know we're running on time, but we could add this to our food. So again, we have created our own canvas. It's dairy-free. It's a sweet, it sort of helps your sweet tooth, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
It really does.
And it's so light. It's so
And
light.
you're going to feel full because of the chia seeds.
So thanks for joining us for Dishing with Dr. Bradley. Make sure you try this recipe at home, and we can't wait to hear how delicious it is for you. Bye.
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 Isn't that good?
It's amazing.